Hey guys, what is going on? This is Matt here and welcome back to some more custom zombies mapping. So then guys, in this video I'm going to be going through some alpha blending. And what alpha blending basically is making one terrain patch slightly more transparent so you can start to expose the patch underneath it. Now if you haven't seen my video on terrain patches, then I definitely recommend you when I'm watching that, just because some of the words that I'll be using within this video, such as verts, you might not know what they mean perfectly. So if you watch that video, hopefully you have a much better understanding of what a vert is, and you know, just overall you'll know what a terrain patch is, you know, much better. So then, all I've done here is I've got two patches, one on top of each other. Let me just quickly separate them. There we go. And you can see I've got one which is this asphalt texture underneath, and I've got one which is this rubble texture. Now all I've done is I've alpha blended the center of this patch to expose this texture underneath. So when you put them back together, there we go, you can see it creates this quite nice looking road, you know, this like road sort of scene. And yeah, you can see like the blending here on the sides. So it's not really a sharp sort of, you know, it doesn't basically switch between one texture to the other really sharply. It's quite a smooth sort of switch. So it looks quite realistic doing it like this. So then, before I do get into actually creating the terrain patches themselves to actually do this, let me just quickly talk to you guys about verts. Now you can see now all these verts. Now all I did there was I selected the actual terrain patch and pressed V on my keyboard, and that then brought up all these colourful dots. Now these are verts. Now verts are actually where the alpha blending takes place. So the more verts you have, then the more places you can alpha blend. So as you can see here, I've got quite a lot of verts. That means that I've got, you know, quite a lot of places where I can perform an alpha blend. So this is what happens when you don't have enough verts. Now you don't have to go crazy with verts, and you don't have to put like loads and loads of verts on something, because there's really no need to. But you do need to have enough, you know, to be able to blend it properly. So for example, I've got this patch here where I've only got two. It's not two, so I've only got 4 verts. So I'm just going to quickly raise this patch above the other. Separate them. There we go. I'm only doing this just because when I do select the the patches, sometimes you might have the wrong one selected, so you know the alpha blend won't work. Now make sure you know you do have the right one selected. So to do this, I just separate them just so I can see which one I've got selected really easily, and then when I've finished, I put them both back together. So then, this is what happens when you don't have enough verts, or you know, or you have too few verts. So there we go. Right, don't worry guys, I'll be talking to you guys about all this in a second. This is the actual stuff that actually, you know, performs the alpha blend. So if I alpha blend this middle part here, you can see nothing happens. Okay, there's no vert there, therefore there's nothing to alpha blend really. So if I move it over towards this corner where there is a vert here, you can see, go to this corner, you can see it blends it really well here in the corner. So make sure you know you've got enough verts to blend it. So you can see as I move to corner by corner, vert to vert, it's blending it. Now if I put the texture back on, there we go, and let's say I add a vert now in the middle here, and I alpha blended that then will create an alpha blend right in the center, okay, and that would work perfectly fine because there is a vert here to, you know, to be alpha blended around, I suppose you could say. So you know, just make sure you do have enough verts, so you do actually have enough places to, you know, be able to alpha blend. Hopefully that makes sense. So let me just quickly put these two back together. There we go. So then, this is where we'll actually be creating the terrain patches and actually recreating this part here. Okay, so and this is also where I'm going to be explaining how to actually alpha blend. So then, first of all, just draw out a normal brush like you would do normally, like this, and go up to patch, simple terrain patch. Now this is the amount of verts you'll want. So width is how many verts you'll want in this direction here along this edge, and height is how many you want to have along this edge here. So I'm going to go for 9 by 9, and that gives me quite a lot of verts. Now I use 9 by 9 for this one over here. So you could probably do about 5 by 5 or maybe 7 by 7. Of course, you know, you don't have to have the same number. I'm only doing the same number because I got a square. So if I had like a rectangle patch, then I'd probably do about 18 for like the height up here, and I'd put about between 7 and 9 for like the width, so it'll give me this same sort of amount of verts, but you know, just in a different shape. So then, once you've got all your verts sorted out, and you've got a patch which you are happy with, next we actually need to be texturing this. Now I'm going to be texturing the actual the underneath patch first. So this is what's going to be exposed. Now because I'm recreating this one over here, I'm going to be using the asphalt texture underneath. Now because this is not the blend texture, we cannot have a blend texture to be using here. I mean, this is not the blend patch, so we can't be using a blend texture. So you can see here I'm using this asphalt underscore old one. Now you can see this one here has got an underscore blend part here, so that this indicates that this texture here is a blend texture, and this one here isn't. So I'm going to be using this one because this isn't a blend texture, because we're not going to be blending this one, we're going to be blending the one that's on top of it, to expose this. So now we've got that, and now we're going to copy this. You can copy it if you want, or you can just create a whole new patch if you really wanted to. I'm just going to copy it though, just to save a bit of time. So now we can see the difference between the two patches. Now this is the patch now which we're going to actually be blending with to expose this texture underneath. So I need a underscore blend texture now then for this. Now I'm going to be using the same one that I did over here, which is this one here. You can see you've got an underscore blend. So I'm going to be clicking on that. There we go. And now I'm going to be alpha blending this patch so we can see this patch underneath. So once you've got your two textures set up, remember you have to have an underscore blend for your blending terrain patch, and a non-blend one for your the one that you're not going to be blending. So click on that, press Y, and then this then will open up the advanced patch editing options. So this inner radius, you can see where my cursor is right now, you can see I've got like two circles around it. So the inner radius is the inner circle, so the circle in the center, and the outer radius is the circle on the the outside circle. So make sure you do have the outer one higher than the inner one, or else this happens, you can't see it. Yeah, so I'm just going to put it about there. So the size that you have these circles depends on how many verts is going to be affected. So of course, if I made this outer radius really wide, you can see a lot more verts are going to get affected by this. And if I made that even wider there, you can see this is going to really sort of blend a very big area all at once. Whereas if I put it quite a small area, it's going to do quite a small area all at once, like this. Okay, so just adjust these to how how big of an area you want to affect at a time. So I'm going to put mine about there. That should be perfectly fine. So now the amplitude is how aggressively you want to actually be alpha blending this patch. So the higher the amplitude, so the higher up you put this scroll bar, the faster it's going to be making this texture disappear, and the lower you have it, the slower it's going to be disappearing. So for example, as you can see here, if I have it right up, let's do it about there, about in the middle there. So that's going to change, that's going to make this blend texture go transparent in the middle fairly quickly, but not too fast. So to actually make the actual alpha blend work, what you need to do first of all is make sure you have these things ticked. Make sure you have everything all the same way I've got it. Of course, make these three slider bars and how you want them. Make sure you have all the next settings all the same way I have them. So to actually perform the alpha blend, you need to hold down Alt, and then you'll left click and drag, and that's going to expose the texture underneath, or or blend this part of the texture away from this blend texture. So it's going to create the transparency within your blend texture. Okay, so you can see if I do it quite a lot of the texture is going to start disappearing, as you can see. Just go a bit over it, there you go, you can see that a bit better. And so that's Alt and left click, that will do. So Alt and left click removes the texture. Now Alt and right click reapplies the texture, so you can see I'm reapplying it now. So if you do make a mistake, so for example, I don't know, if I was going to try and recreate that road here, and I did that, and my hand nudged like that, then instead of making a whole new patch, retexturing it, just do this, just refill it all back in. You see it's all fixed. And of course, even if it might not be a mistake, you might just not like what you've done. You can quite easily adjust each thing So let me just increase the amplitude. There we go. And now you can see it goes away quite fast and then reappears quite fast. Put it really low down, not too low because you won't even be able to notice it then. But now you can see it goes away really. In fact, let me put that a bit higher. You can't even notice that either. You can see it goes away really slowly now. You can just about see. Get it a little bit lighter. Put it a bit higher maybe. Might be able to notice it a little bit better. Oh, there you go. There you go. You can see it goes away quite slowly now. There's not, there's not much speed on this right now. It goes away quite slowly. So I'm going to leave it as about halfway and reapply that. Put it all the way up, so just where I reapply it. There we go. Right, so all I did to make this road that I did over there, I just literally did a straight line straight down the middle. So hold Alt and left click drag right down the middle, and then that creates that. Now that's quite a thin road, and it's not quite not quite as wide as what I did up there. So I'm going to make this a little bit wider, like this. Of course, you don't have to do it all in a straight line. You can kind of move it about a little bit just to make it a little bit more uneven, maybe. Make it look a bit more natural, like this. And once you've got it how you like it, just raise that a little bit. So just keep on experimenting with this until you have what you like. So I think that looks okay now. And right, there we go. So now I've got what I think looks okay. I'm going to click on this again and click Y, and then that's then going to close that, and then I can deselect. And now I'm just going to move these two back together, and there you can see we've just alpha blended this patch. That looks a bit weird there, so I just remove that again. Maybe alpha blend that a little bit more, and yeah, just basically play around with this a little bit and see what you think works best. And yeah guys, that's basically alpha blending. So make sure you have the _blend texture for your blending terrain patch. Make sure you have a non-blend texture, so one that doesn't have _blend underneath it for the under part of the texture, I suppose you could call it. The part that you actually will start exposing through your blend texture. So yeah guys, hopefully this has helped. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll try my best to help you there. So yeah guys, this is alpha blending, and you can create some quite nice looking features for your maps. Of course, I'm going to use like the example of a road here, but you can go quite creative with this and make some quite cool things. So yeah guys, thanks for watching this. Thanks for the support as always, and I'll see you guys later. See you guys.